morning and welcome to the September 16th Let's Talk. Another month halfway gone. I want to talk a little bit about Arizona and how we continue to trend Maricopa County and Westminster Village. So the numbers have been going in the right direction. We continue to see the trend of number of new cases going down, the number of deaths across Arizona going down or staying pretty close to the same. But if you look at the Department of Health Services dashboard page, the numbers are all trending in the right direction, even with some of the schools opening at the beginning of this month. And now we have just had the 3-day holiday, but numbers continue to trend in the right direction. We at Westminster Village continue to have had really good numbers, and we hope we can continue to keep that up. The good news about those numbers is we can continue to go in the direction we have of, which is kind of reopening and putting some services back into place and doing that in a safe manner. We're going to continue to do that slowly, probably slower than some people want and probably faster than some people feel comfortable with. But again, we're able to take a little bit more risk as the numbers in Arizona continue to trend in the right direction. Important part of that though is it's still how each of us act, how each of us focus on this virus and focus on keeping our individual selves safe. Yes, you can go off campus and pick up your groceries, and I know, no, you can't come here and shake hands and not have a mask on. The Arizona is not 100% safe, Westminster Village is not 100% safe, so we still ask people wear their masks. Mine's down here. If you're an employee, wear your shield. If you've been off campus recently, wear your shield. And keep that distance, from people that aren't part of your small social circle. It still is important. That virus is still out there. It can still spread. But again, we feel like the masks are very effective. We feel that's been one of the smartest things we put in place early on that has helped keep Westminster Village safe. So we're going to continue to see the masks and the shields. We're going to continue to see some of the plexiglass and tables in the dining room that are set for 2 and 4 instead of 7. That's going to be a trend for quite a while. So we're going to continue to open up, but we're going to open up slowly. We're going to try to do it in the safest manner possible. So again, I ask, continue to be patient. Our residents, our staff have been tremendous during this pandemic, and we got a ways to go still, but life is getting back to some sense of normalcy and some of the things that we love about Westminster Village. We're starting to see again. One of those started a week or so ago, which is visitors on campus. Now, again, there's hoops to jump through to have an in-person, a little bit of contact visit, somebody coming to your apartment. We are requiring testing from the campus. There is a cost associated with that if you use more than one of them a month. But again, it's a way to get those people who can't get off campus in a safe manner to have their families and friends come and visit. So I think it's a tremendous benefit. Continue to work through that. You're going to work through Megan's team. The concierge is now handling all of the visits, the 1040 visits, the in-person plexiglass visits continue to be very popular. We expect that to stay in place for quite a while. And we're talking about, as it starts to cool off, and I haven't been outside today, but I'm sure it's probably not cool, but as we get closer to cooling off, we'll be talking about in-person outside visits. We haven't determined yet, but I think those will probably take place once the weather's cooler without a test. So there'll be no cost associated with anybody. We'll make those easier to set up as long as the numbers in Arizona and Westminster Village continue to trend the right direction.
I just want to clear up on the family or friends visit to campus. If you want someone in your apartment, that's one person and they're tested beforehand. If you want to see your daughter and son-in-law and the 3 grandkids all together, that would happen in the apartment 1040. And that is available for scheduling also.
Correct. And then we have another room available for skilled nursing and assisted living. Same thing. No testing, you can have multiple people, but it is scheduled. And that way we can have those in-person visits, and those can happen more often than the actual in-person in-your-room visits. And the visits in your apartment, we try to limit those to 2 hours. But again, it seems to be working pretty well. I think it's one of those things I wish we could have done earlier, but again, the numbers say it's pretty safe to do now, and we've gotten pretty good at the testing piece and the scheduling of it. So hopefully people are enjoying those. I know people are still going off campus, but somebody's going to San Diego for a while. And people are just enjoying their being able to see some family and doing it in a safe manner. So again, I'm happy we're getting that part back. One of the things Megan is working on is the elections. We know coming up in November, Westminster Village usually hosts the election, not just for Westminster Village, but for our greater community. We're not 100% sure we're going to be able to do that and do that in a safe manner, but Megan has had a number of meetings, and hopefully this week we'll have some answers of what our options are. Are we going to rent a big tent and do it outside in the courtyard? Are we going to allow people in as long as they follow our guidelines? Or are we going to find another way for residents at Westminster Village to vote in a safe manner without having them here because of the risk of the general public? We don't know the answers yet, but we will know those answers pretty soon. And as soon as we know them, you'll know them. We'll get that information out. But we know the election's important. We know people want the opportunity to vote in a safe manner, so we're going to do everything we can to make sure that happens. The game room, so you can't really see it now, but I think there's giant Jenga behind us, and I can't tell what the other thing is. But we did get an indoor driving range, so it's a driving range, and you can also play 18 holes of golf. I've seen a few people in here playing. There it is. It's pretty neat. I think that's going to go in Megan's office after COVID, and we need Chapman Nuremberg Hall back. But for now, it's going to be in Chapman Nuremberg Hall. Come on down and enjoy. It's pretty fun. I saw the Quindays in here the other day playing around with it. But it's here, and again, it's great to see people coming back and being in the common areas and just being able to see their friends and just have a good time. And again, we want you to wear your mask. We want you to be safe. We want you to sanitize your hands. There's sanitizer everywhere in here, but continue to do that.
And the game room, you don't have to come and play a game. You can just use the room for social activities. If you want to come in here with a couple of your friends, you can do that. And there's plenty of room. No reservations or anything like that. You can sit at a table where there's a game, but you don't have to play it.
And then on the other side of the room tonight, we have a dinner for assisted living. So assisted living week is this week, and the residents from assisted living will be coming down and having a nice dinner, just like we did for the healthcare center last week. So the food service staff and the assisted living and healthcare center staff putting a lot of work into really creating a nice night tonight for our assisted living residents. We've been talking for a while about the change of the isolation period starting on the 21st. Again, the Arizona numbers are looking like they're going to allow us to make that happen. We'll make that determination for sure on Friday, but as of right now, if I had to guess, I would say starting Monday, our isolation period is going to go down to 3 days from 5 days. But we'll still have the additional 2 days of symptom checking. So only a 3-day isolation period. Again, we feel like it's safe to do that now with what's happening in Arizona. I've had some questions of why, because we really talked about the 5 days, because 5.1 days is really the average where most people are going to show symptoms if they have the virus. One of the reasons we feel we can go to the 3 days is, again, the numbers in Arizona have been really, really good and trending in the right direction. And on the other side of that is, with the 3 days and the 2 days of symptom checks, if people are wearing their masks and the shields appropriately, we feel there's very, very little chance of that on-campus spread. So again, it's one of those things where I think 40% of the people are probably saying, slow down, Tom. 40% are saying, come on, speed up, there's no problem out there, and 20% don't care. But we again, the team that kind of have made these decisions, really feel it's the right time to move to the 3-day isolation period. And we're happy that we're able to do that. So we're gonna, again, we'll announce that on Friday if things don't change between now and then. Garden Cafe, October 5th. Oh, I forgot. Ocotillo on the 21st also. So next Monday, starting in, if you go to Ocotillo, you won't have to eat with a spork and a paper plate anymore. We're gonna go back to China and silverware. So I know that's been one of those things a lot of people have been asking about. We've been doing that in the healthcare center this week since we started last Wednesday with doing the special dinner for the healthcare center residents. So we will next Monday go back to China and silverware. So Ocotillo should be a little bit better experience. Your food should be a little bit hotter and should just taste better, because I'm so tired of plastic forks. I can't imagine how everybody else feels about that.
Plastic knives are worse than plastic forks.
So again, food service is excited about that as well. And then on October 5th, we're gonna have the Garden Cafe open. And just like Ocotillo, the Garden Cafe is not gonna open to the full size it was. So we'll have a set of rules that come out. I don't know that we'll have reservations, but we will have limited seating. We will only have 4 tops in there, but you'll be able to still get your food to go or delivered, or you can dine in at the Garden Cafe. So starting on the 5th. And that's obviously, again, if our trends remain the same. And then the other thing that's gonna happen on the 5th is...
And the Garden Cafe also has breakfast. So you can, when it opens, you can dine there from 7 in the morning till 7 at night, which will be helpful to some people.
And then on the 5th, we're gonna, and maybe before the 5th, but we're working hard to bring back some of our in-person fitness classes and opening the gym. And you know, the gym is not currently open, but it's being used, I would say. We've removed some of the equipment. We're going to have some more information coming out, but we're not going to move all the equipment back into the gym. We have too much equipment to do that safely, so we're going to set up a circuit, a training kind of circuit in the gym with some of the equipment we have, and we're going to leave the treadmills and the bikes where they are for the time being. When there comes a point where we don't have to social distance, we'll talk about putting the gym back to the way it was. So those exercise bikes and treadmills that the majority of people who I think are using them are happy that they are spread around campus a little bit. They're going to stay around campus until we don't have to have a plexiglass and social distancing in the gym. We're also going to keep the fitness classes that are online or on Channel 22, on Channel 22. And we'll eventually be able to stream those live from the gym or the fitness room to your apartments. But we're not taking that away, just like we're not taking delivery away as the restaurants open.
And down in the fitness room currently, there's another ping pong table and a little basketball hoop game. And so not everything is in Nuremberg Hall. You can still go to the fitness area and get a little exercise in.
You want to talk about this next or last?
I have a commercial message.
Okay.
Does everybody recognize this as an Amazon Smile? Well, I got an email today from Amazon telling me that because residents tied their Amazon account to Amazon Smile, that Amazon this quarter made a $126 donation to the Westminster Village Foundation. So I want to remind those of you who have an Amazon account but aren't an Amazon Smile participant to sign up for it. And it just means a little extra step when you log on to Amazon. Instead of going directly to Amazon, you sign on to Smile first, and then they direct you to Amazon. And a portion of every purchase that you make is kicked back to the foundation. And so to date, the foundation has received over $2,100 from Amazon Smile. And I'd like to see if we can keep that number growing by reminding you all to sign up if you haven't. Thank you.
So Garth just texted me, he said, we don't like to use the word kickbacks when we're talking about that. It's a donation from Amazon to the foundation.
Okay. When it comes to you, it's a kickback. But when it comes to Westminster Foundation, it's a donation.
Absolutely. The last thing we have on the list to talk about is assisted living. Debbie Lane and her team are working hard to make a pretty big change with our assisted living. And that change is that we're going to be we're bringing back assisted living into independent living as far as the isolation goes. So you can't see it, but these doors that go over to Jayhawk Lounge and then eventually up to assisted living are blocked off. When we segregated the campus between levels of care, we initially put assisted living and skilled nursing together because of the license. It made sense. Because of some of the regulations, it made sense. Now, because we feel, again, it is more safe in Arizona and as a campus, we're going to be bringing assisted living back to the independent living side. And what that means is they're going to have a lot of the same rules and regulations that we have in independent living as opposed to skilled nursing. So we're going to move these blockades to a different area, and assisted living residents are going to be able to utilize Ocotillo and the Garden Cafe and come to activities and be back a part of the campus as they were prior to COVID. So Debbie's working on doing that by October 5th. That doesn't mean that everybody and anybody can go up to assisted living, but the assisted living people are going to have free range of the campus. And I think that's going to be a really good thing for the assisted living residents and the independent living residents.
I know two people up in assisted living who I used to socialize with on a regular basis, and it's been a little difficult. They have hearing and or speaking volume, and it's hard to communicate on the phone or even to try to do it on FaceTime. So it'll be really nice to have them come down here and have dinner with us.
Yeah, and again, our goal is to have that in place by October 5th. And again, I'm so happy we're able to do that at this point. I know Debbie and Todd have been working really hard to make that happen. There are some things they're going to be asking each department to do because there are some regulations very specific to assisted living. And there might be some things like when they're in the dining room, they can only be at a table for 2 and not a table for 4 in order to keep assisted living safe. So just know more information's coming online about that. We'll have that in the next couple of 360s. We'll definitely talk about that again next week. But at this point, I think as of October 5th, assisted living will be back in line with the independent living. And those residents that live up there will have free range. When they have visitors on campus, they'll use 1040 instead of the back hallway. And again, we'll just realign them with the independent living side. And I think that's going to make life better for the people who live up there, as well as the friends that live down here. And make it a little bit easier for families to have those visits as well. So I think that's really good news, and again, we're coming a long way as far as getting back to some sense of normalcy. Again, we're going to continue to take some precautions, but we see it. I just see it as I'm walking the hallways. I'm seeing some happy people. Sometimes it's through the masks. I've seen a few people who now have the masks you can see their mouth through. There's a lot of people who've now put the smiley faces on their masks. Are you going to wear that smiley face on yours?
I'll try.
But we still have some hard work to do. We still gotta wear our masks. We still have to be careful where we go. But life is getting back to some sense of normal, so it's a good thing.
Yes, we're very glad that we're moving in that direction, all residents. And looking forward to the cooler weather when we can start socializing outside too.
All right, well, thank you all, and see you next week.